Still keeping count, right?
Oh yeah, I'm keeping count. And yeah, you're slowly catching up. You're not there yet, but you're getting there.
When you look into my eyes, you understand what I'm saying. Let me say it to you slowly, and it may sound scandalous. I don't think that you can handle this.
All right, once again, we are on. He is the great Mike Steph. I am the Mojo King. This is Hidden Gems Football, NFL Week number 5, brought to you by the 19 Media Group. Mike Steph, how are you doing this week?
I'm burnt out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little frustrated. As we tell at the end of the show, this was not a great week from our prognostications. It's just been a hard week. But I'm here to persevere. I'm here to give my all to all of our fans of HGF this week. But that's a long-winded way of saying I'm here.
All right, let's talk about Mike Steph's one big thing.
My one big thing, yes, it's concerning. It's going to center around the New York Jets, but I'm going to say this in a very calm manner. Are the 2025 Jets the same old Jets? After Monday night's pathetic showing, yeah, I know the score was 27-21, but it was not that close. The Jets are 0-4. Aaron Glenn, rookie head coach of the New York Jets, former player of the New York Jets, as a disciple of Bill Parcells, knows exactly what 0-4 means. You are what this record says you are. The Jets are a losing team. The Jets are a losing franchise. The Jets are a rudderless ship. And the most damning part of that is the fact that they weren't supposed to be. No one had visions of grandeur. No one had visions of playoff possibilities. The expectations were low coming into the season. But we, the fan base, we needed some type of hope, something to grasp onto, incremental progress at the bare minimum. We got that on opening day. Albeit a loss, there was hope. Little did we know that it was just nothing but a mirage. It was born out of pride. Pride that the Jets had in a common enemy in our heads, and that was one and only Aaron Rodgers. But look now, Rodgers' new team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, are 3-1 with a 2-game lead in their division, while we have yet to win a single game. What's worse is that this team hasn't shown that they bought into Aaron Glenn rhetoric at all. They're undisciplined, mistake-prone. They got glass jaw. They have no identity except for offense that runs the ball. And the reason they run the ball is because that's all they can do. This is some of the worst quarterback play I've seen this side of Zach Wilson. And I'm talking about Justin Fields. The bravado in which Aaron Glenn came in with has slowly subsided. Its past post-game press conference, he was deferential instead of defiant. He was measured instead of combative. It's almost as if he's been broken already 4 weeks into the season. This looks like the same bunch of uninspired players that took the field for interim coach last year, Jack Olbrook. I have to say, they actually looked better under Robert Saleh before he got unceremoniously thrown out the door. At least the defense did. It's almost enough to make you pine for the days of Rex Ryan. Now, we're on our way of destroying the once promising careers of our supposed core group of players. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Quentin Williams. They all look defeated. Ahmed Gardner, no longer Source, has regressed. The losing culture is seeping into their pores, seeping into their bodies, and into their motivation. Going into our next game against the Cowboys, everyone is on a hot seat. It's only week 5. Will they win this week? They shouldn't, but they probably will, knowing my luck. Just to draw us back in. So therefore, the next week, when we are back on the hope train, they can derail more violently than they have before. And that, my friends, is Mike Steph's one big thing. Yeah.
I'm actually not going to have much to say about your one big thing because I may come back to the Jets a little bit later.
Oh, wow. For a survivor pick? Yeah, that's right. Pick them. Why not?
Oh, we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it.
True. Okay. Little tease.
You've earned this. Now it's time to embark on your own personal adventure. Book your vacation with Exquisite Travel and Tours today. Explore the world and discover yourself.
All right, before we start off this segment, I'd like to say all the best wishes to Malik Neighbors and Tyreek Hill. Both of them sustained major knee injuries this past week. Tyreek Hill especially is looking at a possible long-term injury, and you just hope that he's able to come back to form at some point. Shorter term, but we're not sure how significant. Lamar Jackson pulled a hamstring. I think he is questionable for this week, and it might be a multiple week injury. Okay, now let's turn to Thursday night football. We have the 3-1 San Francisco 49ers heading to LA to face the 3-1 Rams. The Rams are 5.5-point favorites, while the projected total is 47.5 points. That means Vegas is telling us that the 49ers will score 21, while the Rams score 26.5. Some of that is due to injuries. Quarterback for the 49ers, Brock Purdy, has a turf toe injury. Actually, he's had it since about week 1 when he had turf toe and shoulder soreness that kept him out, but the toe is still bothering him. He did not practice on Monday. We'll have to see if he's ready to go on Thursday. Then, on top of that, their number one receiver at the moment, Ricky Pearsall, did not practice. Coach Shanahan described it as a minor PCL injury. The PCL is interesting because it controls the stability of the knee. So it can be painful, and it can also feel like your knee isn't sturdy, which is a problem. Also, Jawan Jennings, basically the number 2 wide receiver at the moment, has multiple injuries. He had a shoulder and ankle injury coming into the week and now has a rib injury as well. We'll have to see if he's going to be able to play Thursday. People we know on the 49ers who will not play are George Kittle, who's not coming off the IR before week 6, and Nick Bosa is out for the season. The Rams look relatively healthy. Their major injury, Tyler Higbee with a hip, he did not practice on Monday, but he was going through the similar regimen last week and played, so he's possibly in for Thursday. Mike, Steph, I went through the injuries. I went through the spreads. What do you think about this game? Who you got?
You know, to piggyback off your injury comment about the PCL and Kyle Shanahan's comment about that, that does nothing to change the reputation that he has, his family has when it comes to injuries. Like, oh, minor injury. And then you're like, well, you know, that does affect the stability of the knee. Oh, it's a minor injury. Like, really? Like, even if you feel that, you should not say that out in public, especially with the history that y'all have with dealing with players with injuries or whatever. But that's a pet peeve of mine when it comes to him. So that's I just wanted to speak on that. Now, when it comes to the 49ers, you know, the first 3 weeks of the season, the 49ers look like one of the old, their old selves, one of the NFC's most complete and dominant units. The blend of offense balance and defensive efficiency had the fans already thinking like, yo, this might be our year to get back to the Super Bowl and lose. The 49ers dropped their week 4 matchup to the Jacksonville Jaguars 26-21 in front of their home crowd. San Francisco gave the ball away, turned the ball over 4 times. 3 of those turnovers quickly converted into 17 points for the visiting Jaguars. Here's a couple of those stats. 49ers haven't scored a single rushing touchdown through 4 weeks. And you're like, wow. They have Christian McCaffrey, who has been playing, albeit I don't know how effectively with the, with that lingering calf injury or whatever, even though he's not on the injury report. But 4 games, 0 touchdowns. Isn't this the same cat that had like a consecutive game touchdown streak of like over 10, 12 games a couple of seasons ago? 0 touchdowns. Now Purdy, who you said is questionable, completed 22 of 38 for 309 yards. He also tallied 2 touchdowns to go along with 2 interceptions and a lost fumble. So out of those four turnovers, he was responsible for 3 of them. Maybe that turf toe was problematic. And the aforementioned Christian McCaffrey, CMC himself, he picked up 141 yards from scrimmage, but once again, didn't do much on the ground. He gained less than 50 yards on the ground out of those 141 yards from scrimmage. They might be better off just going with Mac Jones until Brock Purdy is actually healthy. Now, on the Rams, they're 3-1. They're looking like the team that I believe they were going to be. Tell you the truth, if it wasn't for a late second block against the Eagles, they might be 4-0. Puka Nacua has had a great first 4 weeks of the season. Do you know that Nacua has 42 catches already for 503 yards this season, which is the best in the NFL in both categories, and he's on pace to catch, guess this, 179 catches for 2,138 yards. The record for catches is 149, so he would obliterate that. And the record for yards is 1964, which he would eclipse that easily. His 42 catches so far are tied for the most in the first 4 games of a season in NFL history. Now, Stafford last week, he pulled off another Alcoa fantastic finish. He was down 20-13. He threw 2 touchdown passes in the final 6 minutes to lead the Rams to a 27-20 victory. Do you know that now he has 50 game-winning drives in his career, 5th most in NFL history? The NFL record is 58, held by Tom Brady. Tom Brady followed by Peyton Manning, who had 54. Drew Brees and Ben Roethlisberger have 53 each. And here comes Stafford with 50. So, getting down to the nitty-gritty, 49ers and Rams. The Rams are favored by 5.5. Listen, my pick is going to be my pick, but I'm going to preface this like this. If Brock Purdy plays, I think the Rams are going to cover 5.5. If Mac Jones plays, I don't think there's no guarantee that 49ers will win, especially with their depleted receiving core. But I think they will actually play a mistake-free game and actually be able to cover. So you ask me which way I'm going to go with. I think, being the fact that it's a short week, Purdy's not playing. Mac Jones is going to play, but it's just that which all those injuries on the wide receiver side and they're on the road. So I'm going to go against my initial thought. Rams minus 5.5 over under. I am going to go over.
I think you made a bunch of great points. Just to follow up on a couple of things you said. Included in San Francisco's ugly turnovers last week, they also had 6 drops. That's just not how you win games, by running around dropping balls. Christian McCaffrey, you mentioned that he's not scored running, but I believe he has 2 touchdowns receiving, and he's actually number 3 in the league as far as total yards from scrimmage. Now, with all of that said, when I look at the results and the schedule of each team, San Francisco has had much easier schedule than the Rams. So their 3-1 is not as impressive to me as the 3-1 of the Rams. As you pointed out with the Rams, they lost to Philadelphia. They were dominating most of that game. They easily could have won that. The Rams have impressed more against the teams that they have played against, their strength of schedule. Plus, San Francisco is so banged up. But I'm going with the Rams minus 5.5, and I'm going to take the under. I think San Francisco should have problems scoring with no wide receivers.
The defense has played well, but that you mentioned, Nick Bosa's gone for the season. So that's going to put a little cramp in there in what they was accomplishing early in the season. So I think Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams are going to exploit that defense and light them up. So that's why I'm going over.
This the 19 media group presentation.
No, he said, what up?
Yeah, you're not getting me this time. What up? What up? What up?
How you doing? How you doing?
You know, it's almost like this song. Something in the way you make me feel. I feel so real. I feel so real. Tell me about it. Yeah, that's how I feel about the pick of the week.
How you doing?